World a reggae say pot still a fi bubble, yeah, pot still a fi bubble, pot still a fi bubble, yeah, pot still a fi bubble. We a hustle every day, pot still a fi bubble. Work hard, no get no pay, pot still a fi. World a reggae, Queen Ifrica said that. Ati.
Danny Pepperseed here for WorldAReggae, Backstage in Melkweg together with the Fire Mama, Queen Ifrica.
Yeah, man.
Queen, it's good to have you back in the Netherlands again, you know.
Come on, always a pleasure to come here.
Yeah, it's been a little while since you've been here for the last time, you know, I think about 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, I would say so.
Yes.
Because we skipped last year and didn't come last year.
Yeah. So, well, you're currently like have a big hit with this tune called Times Like These.
Yes.
On the City Life rhythm. I heard you doing the tune like live on stage. And as an introduction to that tune, you mentioned like the whole drama that happened in Norway last weekend. You were here in Europe already. Can you tell us a bit like how did you hear about it and
Well, I saw it on the news. A lot of times you don't get to see a lot of English channels, so CNN is always in English. So we get to see the news. So that's where we first saw it, you know. It's like you see it at first and then you say, okay, it's like you hear about a shooting at a college or something like that, but then the numbers of the lives keep going up, you know, and you're thinking, what could cause that, you know. You start to see the faces of the people that after the aftermath, and you're thinking, wow, this is something that is serious. And then more news keep coming in and you keep looking at it and you see where it boils down to hate crime. You know, it boils down to an individual who has been studying for 9 years how to prove a point of him not wanting multiculturalism in Europe, and you know, he wants to keep it his way, and you know, he's sending a message by killing innocent kids and old people. You know, it's like we need to stop for a second as a people and check what is it that we're really doing, you know. It doesn't make any sense because everybody cries and more anger is being built.
True.
So there's no solution there.
Well, yeah, you know, like, it's a terrible crime, of course, a terrible thing. And then you see that your music is so universal because, of course, like, you do not really write your tunes for things like that, but then you can see in what kind of times we're living. So your song becomes even more actual than it was already. You know? Yes,
and I give thanks for that. And I think that happens when you don't personalize the message that you're trying to send. You know, it's not necessarily your point of view or the point that you want to get across, but it is things that are really affecting people in general, whether it is that it is in my country or another country. They can relate to the message because it's broad and it's about, especially for EUs, it's people missing that good thing about a person who is willing to give up his or herself to make a better way, you know, to make a better way of life for somebody. We need more people like that in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, now let's talk about your musical career, like your most recent album on VP Records that was released like last year.
Yes, Montego Bay. Montego Bay is a beautiful, beautiful project. I give thanks for the success of it. A lot of the songs I did tonight was from that album, you know, so it's really good when you love something because it loves you back, and it's a good feeling. And that's what we get from music, and we give thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, that album has been released now for a good year. Are you working on a new project already?
Yes, definitely. That was the first one for VP Records. So I'm in the process now of working on the second one. And we're looking at later on this year for the release of it. So I have to be recording while I'm on the road. Every chance I get, every day off I get, we jump into the studio and we lay down some tracks, and you know, to make sure that we have a nice follow to Montego Bay, you know.
Can you tell us a bit about the project already? Like what kind of songs that we can expect?
Well, basically, you know, Queen Ifrica is about message. So it's whatever it is that is current and relevant to a person or some people somewhere in the world, I'll be touching on it. Because if you notice, my songs are always in the present, even though they can go to the future or even to the past. So that's where I'm looking. I'm looking at where we're at now. We're at the point now where the earth is crying out because we're destroying her. So it's about paying attention to how we protect the earth and how we try to save. Whether or not 2012, that reality, you know, is something that's in the back of our minds that we have to deal with, that the environment is being deteriorated. So it's stuff like that. It's touching on topics like those, keeping it fun, have some love song night, say away with a little vibe, and you know what I mean, just keeping it like Queen Ifrica.
Can you tell us a bit about like the team that's working on the album, like which producers and which musicians and?
Well, the album is produced, as Montego Bay was produced by Tony Rebel from Flames Productions. Yeah, right. Yeah, so you know, that's like a big thing for me still, cause he knows what he wants to hear, and he knows the type of producers, you know, that we can use. So it's going to be a variety, but a lot of the stuff will be produced by Flames. Yes.
Okay, that's good to hear. You know, like you have always been loyal to the Flames camp, you know, from your early beginnings. Like
yes.
You have been under the wing of Tony Rebel, you know.
Yes.
Well, Tony Rebel, of course, like a legendary artist by himself. We're soon gonna have an interview with him, people, so stay tuned. But there's another legend, music legend, in your life, and that's your father. Your father is Derek Morgan. For the people who don't know, you know, like Derek Morgan is the real ska superstar from Jamaica, like one of the early stars, like in the 60s. Well, your father's music is well much different from your music. In which way your father really influenced you, your musical path?
Well, to be honest, I would be lying if I said my father influenced me into music. You know that that's not the reality. I say it all the time. So he's familiar. He's not gonna be like, what did she just say? He's familiar that he knows that I say that from time to time because it's the truth. You know, I am like overwhelmed and blessed to know that he's alive. He's still touring, he still does music, and he's coming from the 50s. Nobody can take that away. But as you said, we do two different music, so my influences would have been drawn from other people like Garnet Silk, as I always love to say, is really a real reason why I listen to music in the sense of, you know, paid attention to it in that way. And that was in like the early 90s, coming up when people like Tony Rebel was ruling, because let me say this, a lot of them don't want to say it. The 90s, all the artists that came out of the 90s came on account of Tony Rebel, because you know why I said that? He's the first one that Sing and DJ and every other artist, including you call the names, were born out of that sound. So I am happy to be a part of that legacy. It's like I'm surrounded with greatness, you know. Derek Morgan produced Tony Rebel in the early days when he was coming up in his music. He was one of the big acts that you would go to, you know, to get that break and to know that I am now in Tony Rebel's camp. It's like, music is such a wonderful thing, you know. It really doesn't make any mistakes. So, yeah man, Derek Dada, as we call him, you know, it is a pleasure to have him around and to see him still love it and still working it, you know.
Yeah, really great. You know?
Yeah.
Because a real legend. So kids, check out Derek Morgan on YouTube, and you'll find some great tunes. Well, Queen, you're now on a European tour.
Yes.
You just started like about a week ago.
Yes, we did California for I think it was 2 to 3 weeks, and then we went to Jamaica for a day, and then we came here. I'm looking at a paleo festival that we did. That's a very big festival. I think it's in Germany? Switzerland. That was the first one that we did. And I think we did what? About 4 or 5 shows now? Yeah. Yeah, and so we're doing some other festivals like I don't remember the names of them, but I hear they're big festivals. Garage, if that's the correct.
France, you know?
Yeah.
Rotterdam.
And we're going to be in Paris and Uppsala, and, you know, just bringing the message. I love it. I love to perform in Europe because the love is real that you get from the artists in terms of the appreciation for that message, you know, that feeling that message music gives, you know. So it's always nice.
Alright people, make sure to catch Queen Ifrica live on the road in Europe like in the next coming weeks. And
yeah.
Queen, thank you very much for the time for this good interview.
Yeah, we're going to Zurich tomorrow. So if this is up by then...
Samba, no sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So watch out for Queen Ifrica on the road, and well, as she said, later on in the year, the brand new album. So.
Brand new.